Coming up next, some top non-technical skills that you need to succeed even in technology, and how a female billionaire spanked rejection. And one of your calls starts now. Coming to you live from Ramsey Studios in Nashville, you are joining a conversation about who you are, what you were created to do, where you want to do it, and how you can get there. Thrilled to have you with us as we talk about your contribution. You were created to contribute. In other words, you were created to fill a unique role. You were needed, you must do it. And we're going to look at that contribution in and through your work. We're so excited to have you with us. A couple ways to join in on the program. One is the toll-free phone number, 844-747-2577, 844-747-2577. You can also enter your question into the chat room, and we'll get to a few of those a little bit later right here on my laptop. But first, top non-technical skills that you need to succeed in the best jobs of the future. This is from Business Insider. And when you look at how the economy through jobs is constantly changing, obviously with the advance of technology, the overall innovation and the human spirit to just continually create new businesses in order to solve human problems, you're always going to see an evolution of jobs. And so this is a great little article. I want to run through these, just a quick list. But as you're listening to this list, I want you to begin to ask yourself, where am I at on this skill? Am I a 2? Am I a 9? Top non-technical skills that will help you succeed in the future. Systems analysis. Jobs that are in this area: application software developers, management analysts, computer systems analysts. Service orientation. Jobs here would be vocational nurses, mental health counselors, physician assistants, time management, people that do well here in medical and health services, licensed practical and vocational nurses as well, lawyers. Another skill, coordination. Any type of manager and operations is going to need high levels of coordination skills. Another skill, active learning, monitoring, complex problem solving, writing, judgment and decision making, speaking, reading comprehension, critical thinking, and I love this one. I love that it's last because I think this is a skill that, and many of those last that I rolled through apply to everybody, so I didn't list out job examples. But this last one is called active listening. And you think to yourself, well, I'm a human being, I know how to listen. Do you? Are you a good active listener? The idea of truly listening, not just hearing the words that are coming your way. This is speaking to this term we hear a lot in professional circles called soft skills. This idea that you have the skills, the people skills, to be able to interact well and to win with people. Because after all, if you're very good at the job itself, the skills and the execution of the job, but you are a problem with people in your office, or you are a problem with the people you serve, the customer, you're not going to succeed. And many times we forget things like this. So if you look at the list here, critical thinking, the idea of, can you think critically? Do you have a process by which you discern and you analyze and you are able to adapt because of the way you think? Reading comprehension. I mean, you hear that and you go, I did that in the 6th grade. There's a reason why you did. They taught you this skill. You know, are you able to digest information comprehensively and retain it so that you can use it? So folks, sometimes we get all hung up on technical skills and the hard skills, and those are very important. However, some of the most vital skills for succeeding in any industry are the skills that we just ran through. So make sure you are always looking at yourself, assessing yourself, say, where am I at on some of these areas? Where do I have room for improvement? So that you are versatile and as a result, valuable. 844-747-2577 is the number to jump in. 844-747-2577. Let's go to the phones. Audrey joins us in St. Croix Falls, Wisconsin. Audrey, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. How can I help?
So I'm reaching out because I'm in a new season of discovery. I had a plan for my life and my future, and as usual, life happens, and now I really don't know if my big dream can truly be my reality. And now I'm just back to feeling lost on what I am meant to do here on this earth.
Well, before we go any further, let's go back into your big dream, because the statement that you just made to me, I think, is very revealing. And I want to know more why you're wondering, or why you've lost all hope, or most of your hope, on can your big dream really become a reality? What's the big dream, or what was it?
I wanted to open a graphics application company.
Okay. Why is that not a reality? Or why are you wondering if that could be a reality?
I had a hand injury in May of this year and didn't go in soon enough. I went in about August and found out it is tendonitis. And being someone who has worked with graphics, I am now not able to do that during this time of trying to get my muscles to heal again. And just talking with my doctor, it's very unclear if I'm ever going to be able to perform at the level I was without constantly re-injuring myself.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's definitely a physical setback, and there are a lot of unknowns there. However, the dream is for you to own a graphics design firm, correct?
Yes.
Well, let's go back. Let's stay there in that desired future. Let's fast forward. How much time are you personally going to spend doing graphic design when you are the owner of that company, with all of your other responsibilities of getting clients, of leading teams, growing the business, all of those things? How much time would you envision spending on actually using your hand to do the design itself?
Like big picture down the road?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Probably not.
Probably not a whole lot.
Yeah.
Aren't you going to be in a situation when you're not in meetings with leaders or your managers of your team, when you're not in meetings with the client trying to close the deal or give voice to their vision, you're probably huddled over a desk with somebody who's doing it, and you're pointing, you're probably going, maybe I'd do this or do this. Isn't that true?
Yeah.
So I would tell you that your big dream, that long-term vision of you owning your own graphic design shop or firm, whatever you want to call it, that's not dead. And it's extremely realistic. And I would tell you, if you commit and do the things that you're supposed to do and get through this trial, and then on the other side of this trial, whatever your reality is, adjust to that reality, and you can, that this is highly probable, not just possible, highly probable that you'll eventually get there. How old are you, Audrey?
I'm 24.
My goodness. You are effectively a child. You are so young, and you've had a very, very intense, traumatic situation that has scared you, and you just needed to call in today, because I'm telling you, whatever the physical limitations are, let's say that your doctor ends up saying, look, you can probably only have your hand on the mouse or the pen or whatever you use, the stylus. I don't even know what you use as a graphic designer. You can only have your hand on it for X amount of minutes a day. And even at that, you'd have to still do physical therapy. For you to be involved in the creative space or work for somebody where You're involved in a lot of the aspects of it. Or if you have to get a day job that is still creative in nature, but maybe you're not doing all that design yourself, but you've got a day job and you're doing very well in that, and then you do graphic design on the side, or you save up money and you eventually start your own business because you get to a point where financially at the age of 24 and 2 or 3 years from now, it's not unrealistic to believe that you've got 6 months, 12 months of expenses in the bank. And then you start your deal on the side and you just start doing it, and you hire a couple of freelance designers and you give them your vision, and ultimately you're the one who's editing the design. You can do this. You know how to do this. I think you have to double down and say, what am I going to do that's going to allow me to overcome this injury? That's what this boils down to. This issue is not your dream. This isn't your vision, because you have a vision for what you want to do. You know what the dream is. You know how you want to do it. This is just you deciding to say, I'm not going to let this hand injury stop me. That's all this is.
Okay.
You all right?
Yes.
There we go. You just needed a pep talk.
I guess I did.
The doctor didn't tell you that you can't use your hand. The doctor said it's possible that you could re-injure it. Okay, but then what would need to be true for me to seriously re-injure it? And if I did exercises and I did physical therapy, could I do a certain level of graphic design? And the answer is
yes.
So, Audrey, are you going to let your injury stop you, or are you going to allow it to make you stronger?
I am going to allow it to make me stronger.
Very good. This is not stopping you at all. Don't let it stop you. And listen, I don't want to make light of Audrey's situation, but there are men and women who have had to overcome far greater physical challenges. And Audrey, I know you're still on the line. I put you on hold, but I want you to maybe spend a little bit of time on YouTube today and watch some Paralympic athletes. Watch them run sprints and do hurdles with aluminum legs or whatever those legs are made out of. Go do some research on people who write with their mouth. I am not in any way, Audrey, saying that your challenge isn't a big deal. It's a huge deal to you. It's your challenge. But those men and women have overcome it, and so can you. You need to stop thinking about all your limitations, and you need to start watching other people who have far greater physical challenges than you and what they've done. And when you watch that, that's going to fire you up. There's no stopping you. The only person stopping you, Audrey, would be you. That's it. 844-747-2577 is the number. Let's go to Daniel, who joins us in Richmond, Virginia. Daniel, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. How are you, man?
I'm living the dream, Daniel. What's up?
All right. So 7 months ago, I found myself in a position, to say the least, not very pleasant. I was working a job. I was making a decent salary, about 6 figures. I was doing that job for about a year. Mm-hmm. Then I got another offer. That position was paying me double that pay.
Wow.
So I accepted that pay, and I was very excited for it. So by that time, I quit that job, and I gave my notice. I was supposed to start that job, but I found out that the position has been removed, and they told me that the position is not available anymore. So,
all right, hold on a second. Yeah. So you're talking about the position that was offered to you where you would have made double?
Exactly.
They changed after they made the offer, they rescinded it?
Yes. They said it's not available anymore.
Okay, gotcha.
So I did all the, so when I tried to go back to my older job, my previous job, they said they cannot take me because they had someone else to replace me. So I didn't know what to do. Honestly, after 7 months, I'm still not sure what to do. But what I did mean, like for the last 7 months, I tried to take advantage of what's going on, with the COVID thing, and I finished my MBA because I had about a couple classes couple classes left. So I finished the MBA. However, I do have some money aside. I have experience driving trucks, semi trucks. So with the business idea that I have to sell my trucking business, I can make decent salary. I mean, that one would be around 6-figure as well. But my question here is, with the driving trucks thing, it's something I really do not enjoy at all. But if I invest the money that I have aside, I would be making a decent living. But it's something I really like. I did it before for a couple of years, and it was not. I know it's not for me.
Well, wait a second. Okay. So your question is, should you drive a truck because you can't stand it, but you're going to make good money?
Exactly.
And you haven't been working for how many months?
So I'm currently abroad. I'm not in the States right now, so I don't have a lot of expenses for the last 7 months. So I had my MBA, my graduation.
Okay, got it. So you've not been working for 7 months, but you're living abroad. Are you planning to come back to the United States soon?
Yeah. Hopefully within 2-3 weeks. Yeah.
I mean, here's the issue. You've been listening to me. I don't know how long you've been listening to me, but I'm okay if the answer is if driving the truck allows you to make 6 figures again and allow you to make good money, because it seems like you're a guy who lives on way less than he makes, or you have the ability to do so. Is that a true statement?
That is very true.
So if driving the truck gets you 6 figures and it allows you time to do 2 things. Number one, keep listening to my show and do what I tell you to do and figure out what it is you're created to do. And you got a lot of time behind the wheel of a truck to think and to learn. All right, so that's one option. And 2, you're making really good money and you're living on next to nothing, and you stack all that money up for whatever the next step is, whether it's to get qualified, because right now you're in stage 1, which is get clear. You got to get clear on what it is you're created to do. At some point, you're going to get ready to step into stage 2, which is to get qualified. Well, that's going to cost you something. And or you get clear and you don't need to get qualified and you jump right to get started, which is stage 4, because you start your own business or something. Then that money that you're making by driving a truck goes towards starting that dream and funding that dream so you don't have any debt. From that standpoint, yeah, I'm fine with you jumping in the truck and driving. But if absent of you not getting clear, then I would spend the time while you're abroad. You went and got an MBA. I'd spend some more time now getting clear. What is it that you really want to do? That's what you need to figure out. Then we decide if I need to drive the truck. So the question is, and I don't buy it, Daniel, that you don't know what you want to do. I think you know what you want to do, but you're scared. Because I don't think a guy like you decides to take an MBA program without having a couple of ideas. Am I right or am I wrong? And I don't mind being wrong.
Okay, so honestly, I would say somewhere in between, because when I got my MBA, I didn't have, I was driving Uber. So I'm 35 years old, and where I was from, I was a lawyer. And just coming back, just like any immigrant story, I had to start over and all that.
All right, here was the deal, Daniel. So I'm gonna interrupt you, all right? Because you need to be interrupted, and this is on your behalf, all right?
Okay.
Because you gave me enough evidence that tells me you've got some ideas. Then you got this past. Then you came over as an immigrant, and then there's all these contextual happenings. I want you to stop thinking about all the things that have happened to you and all the challenges you see before you. And I want you to answer this simple question. If I guaranteed you that you could not fail, you would be successful at anything you wanted to do. I take care of all of the qualifications. I take care of all of the customers or all of the work. It's there. You cannot fail. What do you try tomorrow? Say it. Don't think, say it.
Having my own gym.
Well, that was really easy. Why? Why would you want to operate your own gym? I want you to tell me from your heart the why.
Because I'm a very physical person. So I like something, if I had to quit everything in my whole life, but not quitting one thing, that one thing would be not working out.
Yeah.
So
you love
time,
it.
I know I do not like a personal training. Yeah, I love it. Like no matter which country I'm, like
you're working out
all the time.
Right. So here's the deal.
The only thing, but I'm not a personal trainer. Yeah. So
Hey! Whoa! Hold on. You're thinking again. I don't think. I do the thinking for you. You just answer questions. All right. I get it.
Okay.
I get it that you don't want to be a personal trainer, but your answer to my question was not being a personal trainer. The answer to my question was I want to own a gym. Those are two very different things. You have assumed, because you started thinking, and I was not allowing you to think yet. You started thinking and go, well, I got to be a personal trainer in order to own a gym. Is that true or is that false? Daniel? You do not have to be.
Sorry, I'm not.
You do not have to be a personal trainer to own a gym. I can go buy or lease a piece of property today or a building, and I can go hire a bunch of people who are personal trainers, and I can start a gym tomorrow. True or false?
True.
All right. So, if your dream is to own a gym, what do you need to start and open a gym? What do you need, Daniel? Say it.
I have to save up a good amount of money.
There it is. So maybe driving the truck is a great opportunity. What's the quickest way for you to save money? To make money. So go ahead.
Driving a truck, but again, I know I think too much, but that's something. With the truck, I have to invest at least $30,000 to $40,000
in the truck.
I will put that to buy a truck. Yes.
Okay. So
because I will operate my own truck.
Okay. So here's the deal. I was just playing off of one of the options you gave me. Here's what you need. You need a day job. Does not need to be the dream job, because of the dream job is for you to own your own gym. So what you need to come up with, just like you told me for the trucking business, if it takes you $30,000 to $40,000 to buy your own or buy your way into a trucking business, then how much money would it take to open up a gym? That becomes you've done all this studying for an MBA, good on you. That tells me at 55 that you can be very focused. The fact that you work out every day, you're very focused and disciplined dude. Your number one homework assignment is to find out whatever country you're going to be in. If you're coming to the United States, you need to talk to people who successfully open and run gyms. That's your homework assignment, because they're going to tell you all the pitfalls, all the challenges. They're going to tell you what you need to do, and you're going to come up with essentially a college level research paper on what it takes to open and successfully operate a gym. That's your assignment. Once you have that knowledge, that's going to include things like, well, I'm going to need $25,000 in capital, or I'm going to need to, I don't want to buy a building, I can just lease a building. And I'm going to need this many employees to start, and I'm going to need this much in equipment, and I'm going to need this and this and this. And once you know that, now we've got a very clear goal. So whether you drive a truck for somebody else but I would not invest in a trucking business if that's not the be all end all. If you want to go drive a truck for somebody, and if you can make six figures driving for somebody else, go for it. But you need a day job, and you need a day job quickly that's going to allow you at 55 to save up enough money to launch this last kind of big season of your life, which is, I want to own a gym. And don't make the mistake of trying to...
Sorry, it's 35. My bad. 35, not 55.
I apologize. It doesn't matter. My advice doesn't change, whether you're 35 or 55. I misunderstood you. But that doesn't matter. What matters is that at even 35, this is great news. You got more time. But you need to get working and saving money. But that's, as you're working and saving money, you're getting educated on what it takes to successfully operate a gym, and you can do this. But there is no other excuse. There is no other dream. I mean, I know I've pushed you really hard, But you needed me to push you because you're too busy thinking and you need to start doing. Because you do know your dream. So it's just like our first caller. Can you do it? Absolutely. Get after it. 844-747-2577 is the number. All right, let's go to the chat room. A Teddy Bear. This is a very interesting username. Do you have any tips on how to explore and discover your interest? I don't have any hobbies right now, and nothing really grabs my attention. Okay. Well, first of all, that's not true. You're not looking in the right places because you're not asking the right questions. So I'm going to give you 3 basic questions that always starts the process for people to figure out what your interests are or what you would love to do in business. Here it is. Three quick questions. Who are the people you most want to help? What is the problem that they have or desire they have that you want to solve or fulfill? Third question, what's that solution? What is that solution? So once you figure out who the people are and the challenge they're facing or the desire they have, then you can say, okay, well, here's the solution to that I want to do. So let me walk you through that very quickly. Begin to think. When I think about helping people, who are the people that my heart thinks about and my brain thinks about first? Is it single moms? Is it people that struggle with substance abuse? Is it people that have financial problems? Trust me, your brain knows, your heart knows. Ask that question. All right, so you begin to think about those people. Then you go, okay, why those people? Well, it's either a problem or a challenge they have or a desire they have. Let me give you an example of the 2 differences here. A challenge they have is they've got financial problems. They need to save for college. They need to invest for their future, whatever it is. Or that's a challenge, it's a problem. Or they have a desire. They want a new pair of shoes. See, the person who owns a boutique for shoes or dresses or fashion, well, they're not really solving a problem. They're fulfilling a desire. And that's equally as honorable work. So that's the idea. You think about the people you want to help, problem they have, desire they have. Now, what are the solutions? Well, I want to help women look better and as a result feel better. Okay, great. Do you want to go into makeup or do you want to go into clothing? Do you want to go into weight loss, nutrition, whatever? You've got to answer that. But when you think about the people you want to help, the problem you want to solve, and the solution you want to provide, therein lies the answers that you're looking for. That's how you do this. Because what will happen is your brain begins to throw out ideas, your heart's going to go, ooh, I like that one, or eh. So it's 2 sound effects. Your heart does, ooh, or eh. That's what happens. So that's the process. That's how you do that. Andrew writes in, how do I keep my head? Oh, I love this question. How do I keep my head from overriding my heart? It's very simple. So what Andrew is basically saying here is that he's overanalyzing or he's stuck because his brain is saying one thing and his heart's saying another. So how do you keep the brain from overriding the heart? And so what you have to do is you have to then identify the voices of your head and the voice of your heart, and then you have to essentially put them on the witness stand. So here's what our brain is designed to do. We have this thing in our brain called the amygdala, and it's at the back of the brain. A lot of people refer to it as the lizard brain. And it is given to us by God to protect us. As you think about the early days of man, you could be walking down a path and a saber-toothed tiger comes out and bites your head off. Okay? These were different days. And so in the early, if you think about it, that's how our brains, when we first begin to engage brains, a lot of danger out there. You could fast forward to the Stone Age or the pioneer days, or any exploration or time of history. Like a bear comes out of nowhere, or some natives to the area and they don't want you traipsing around their land. You take a spear to the neck. So your brain's primary function in the amygdala, that area of the brain, is to protect you. That's why they call it fight or flight. So you as a human, you feel threatened, that amygdala basically sends impulses to you, and you either decide to fight or take flight, which is to run away. So your brain's primary function when it feels danger or fear is to go, whoa, hold on, stop. That's what your brain's doing. So that's the voice. Understand it is to protect you. Well, Ken, it's doing what it's supposed to. Is it? Maybe it is. Maybe it's right. Maybe that voice is right. Maybe it's wrong. So that's why we now go listen to the heart. We go, what's my heart saying? Well, my heart is saying that I've always wanted to do this work. I've always wanted to help these people. As long as I can remember, or when I think about this, my heart swells up and I'm emotional about it. It's all I think about. If I did this every day, it wouldn't feel like work, even in the tough days. It would feel like I was on fire. That's what your heart's saying. Your brain's going, yeah, but you got to go do this. You got to learn this, and you're going to have to do this, and you might get rejected, and you might fail. That's what your brain's supposed to do. And that's when you got to let your heart voice ring loudest. Yes, I might fail, but all great men and women fail. In fact, there is no success without failure. Shut up, brain. Essentially, you have to get out the voices, and you got to almost, and that's why I believe in a pencil and this moleskin. I write out every call notes on it. It's getting out there and go, okay, my brain's telling me that this could happen, and this could happen, and this could happen. And my heart's going, I want to do this, I want to do this, and I want to do this. And you look at those two voices side by side, and you just go, okay, great. Thank you, brain. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm very well informed. Thank you. You've told me what to fear. You've told me what to doubt. Shut up. I got it. It's like the backseat driver. You know what I mean? It's like, would you shut up and let me drive, please? I got it. I mean, that's essentially the wrestling match that your head and heart are engaged in. And by the way, Andrew's not the only one. We all go through this. But that little exercise right there, that's how you make sure that your head and heart become aligned. Because once you tell the brain to shut up and you go, yep, I'm prepared for this potential failure. I'm not doing a crazy risk here. If I fail, I'm not done financially. I'm not going to harm anybody or myself. I'm going to be okay. Then the brain goes, oh, all right, I'm in. Why? Because the brain's not afraid anymore. You've addressed the brain. So the brain's doing what it's supposed to do, but you've got to allow the heart to do what it's supposed to do. And then the brain goes, okay, I got it. I'm in. Now, let me give you a quick lesson on the converse of this. There are times where our heart will push us into a way too risky scenario, an unwise scenario, because the emotion is pumping. And the brain goes, whoa. But the brain's right this time, because the brain is correctly identifying this guy. By the way, this is relationships and professional life. This so-called investor has ripped off 2 or 3 other people. Yeah, but he's changed. No, he hasn't. The brain's going, no, he hasn't. He's a shyster on the relationship side. This guy mistreats women, but he's changed. Has he? That's the brain. And so again, the same exercise I just went through, it will reveal sometimes that the brain is right and it is protecting you, and you need to listen to the logic. So that's the exercise for everybody. All right, so fun thing, we've been teaching each day this week. I want to teach from the life of a man or a woman who's very, very successful, but all you know about largely is their success, and you think at times that they're so successful, they're so different from us, but they're not. They might have more zeros in their bank account than you. More people may know their name, but they're not different from you. And so I teased it at the top, how a female billionaire spanked rejection. So some of you figured out who I'm talking about. I've had the pleasure of interviewing her and her husband, so I know them. Really great people. Her name is Sarah Blakely. One of the first female billionaires, certainly the youngest female billionaire in history. She is the founder and CEO of a brand called Spanx. Guys, if you don't know what it is, your wife or girlfriend does. They'll tell you about it. And the story goes, what you don't know about her journey is that she was on a path to become a lawyer, but she scored low on the LSAT, which is the law school entrance exam. Scored low. And as a result, felt like, this isn't my jam. Now listen to a couple parts of the story. This is one. She realizes, I'm not very good at this. I'm not going to beat my head up against the wall to try to get a status job and a status career that everybody will think is impressive. I'm going to go a different direction. Great choice. She then moves on and she's beginning to wander a bit, goes through several dead ends, several failures. She finally gets a job as a salesperson and she was wearing hose. Well, the story is really awesome, but she realized one day that she had an outfit on that she felt like she needed some more support, ladies, underneath the old pantsuit. And so because she had been wearing hose, she realized I could cut off the bottom of the hose and wear it underneath the pants. It'll give me that little extra support that I want. And it worked and it became an idea. She was like, this is an idea. But some of you are going, well, that's brilliant. Of course it's brilliant. Nobody else thought it was brilliant but her. And then she started telling some friends about it, some other people, some other ladies, and they're like, this is brilliant. So what does she do? She drives to North Carolina, where a lot of the hosiery mills are in the United States. And she starts going around, knocking on doors, if you will, at these manufacturing places. And she's pitching her idea. She was turned away by everybody. Everybody was like, you got to be kidding me. More rejection. 2 weeks later, she gets a call from one of the male mill operators who took the idea back to his daughters, and they were like, Dad, that's brilliant. So he listens to his daughters, calls Sarah Blakely and says, let's talk. She went through several different iterations and a lot of failure just trying. She just got one dude to go, all right, I'll produce what you bring to me. But then she had to actually produce it with him and work through it and test it. So much failure in that process for her. She never went to business school, never took a business class. She just figured out that there was a problem that she had. She came up with a homespun personal solution to it and thought, bet there's a better way to do this to solve a problem that I had for a lot of other women. Now she's a billionaire. But here's what I want you to hear. She's only a billionaire because she first decided to take her idea to somebody. She had the guts to just drive to North Carolina, no appointments, and start knocking on doors. Then she had the guts to not quit and keep going, keep staying with it. In that 2-week period, she didn't shut the idea down. She didn't say, nope, that's it. She could have. When that mill operator called and said, hey, my daughters think this is a great idea. I'm willing to help you create this. She could have said, you know what? It's a stupid idea. Thanks for calling. I'm going to do something else. She didn't. And I don't have time to break down the story of how she eventually got it into Neiman Marcus and some of the crazy, gutsy things she did. She put herself out there to be rejected. She faced rejection. She didn't quit. Then she had to go to all these department stores and she kept getting rejected there and finally got Neiman Marcus to do it. But she had to put herself way out on the end of the diving board. Some of you aren't doing what you know you're supposed to do simply because you don't want to face the sting of rejection. And I got news for you. Sarah Blakely had to eat rejection morning, noon, and night, then put ketchup on it. Whatever she had to put on it, she had to keep eating it because there was no way to success without rejection. Don't think for 1 second that your idea, your dream is a complete moonshot and that you're going to need a miracle to get there. You keep thinking that way, you will act that way, and you will sit on it until your dying day. But if you refuse to be deterred and discouraged by rejection, you'll get there. Don't think that you're alone. You're the only person with a big idea. These men and women that we talk about, they didn't get there because they're better than you. They got there because they're more stubborn than you. You need some good old-fashioned stubbornness. I will not quit. That's where success begins, and we don't even see it. But it is the seed of success when we say, I believe it must be done, and I'm supposed to do it, and no matter what anybody says, I am going to try it, and I'm going to learn from that, and I will let my effort determine my direction. I will let my effort determine my investment, not what other people think and not what other people say, which, by the way, when we're worried about what other people think and say, I got news for you. That's all in your head. They got their own issues. If you think they're walking around thinking about how the Ken Coleman Show is going to succeed or fail, you've lost your ever-loving mind. They don't care. They get their own stuff. Stop worrying about what everybody else thinks and says. What do you believe? What do you say? I would tell you that in my life, and probably in your life, the number one voice you have to be careful of is your own voice, because it's the one you hear the most. So I hope that encourages you today, because it encourages me. Hey, before I let you go, you matter, and you do have what it takes. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.